It's a perfect September morning in the hills of West Virginia. We've got a hot rail on number 2 track with a coal train rolling east. But why do I love this scene so much? To most people, this is just an afterthought, but for me, I love it so much. Why? Why do I love trains? Well, today we're going to dig into that a little bit. So we are coming up on the train that actually inspired me to love railroading way back when I was just a wee boy. So join me as we explore my history with the New River Train / Autumn Colors Express and how it changed my life forever. For those of you who may not know, the Autumn Colors Express is a successor to the New River Train, which has been a staple on the old C&O for years, going back to the 1960s. It originally began as a May fan trip, but it's since morphed into, well, an Autumn Colors train. It gives people a chance to see fall foliage that you can't see anywhere else. West Virginia is beautiful this time of year, and the best way to see it is on the railroad, where you go right through the heart of the gorge. Several different locomotives have powered the train over the years. From Nickel Plate Road 765 to Milwaukee Road 261, C&O 614 and Reading 2101, as well as various diesels. Since 1995, the train has been pulled by Amtrak, and one of the coolest things about the train, no matter which engine's pulling, is that most of the cars, if not all of the cars as in recent years, are restored cars from way back in the day. And if you love railroad history like I do, it gives you a great opportunity to see what railroading was like back in the day. You may have seen railroads you don't even know existed until you see this train. And even if you do know them, you may not know a whole lot about them, so it's really nice. This train can be long too. The record actually, I believe, is 32 cars, and that was back when the 765 was pulling. Nowadays it's more like 20, but even then, when's the last time you saw a passenger train that had 20 cars? This is a long train. To tell the story of why I love this train so much, you have to go back to two people. My mom and her dad, who I called Papa. Now, it started with Mom because she bought me a VHS tape, yes, I am that old, VHS, called Steaming Up the New River Gorge, which chronicled Nickel Plate Road 765 masquerading as C&O 2765 on the 1993 New River train, as well as some scenes with Milwaukee Road 261. Now, I never got a chance to ask Mom this because, quite frankly, I wasn't really thinking about it when she was alive. But I have to imagine she wanted me to learn more about my area and where I'm from. The train runs from Huntington, West Virginia to Hinton, West Virginia. I live in Fayetteville. It goes right past my house. Well, I live on top of the plateau and the railroad's in the gorge, so I'm not like right next to the tracks, but I'm not that far away that I can get to the tracks within a reasonable amount of time. So that's where it comes from. And both my parents worked. So Papa and Mama kept me before I started school. And I would watch this tape over and over and over and over and over again. I can still recite it almost from memory, and I'm pretty sure Papa could too if you asked him. Oh man, I watched this thing so much. And so it just became something I associated with him because I would watch it so much. In fact, when I was growing up, I thought he bought it for me, not Mom. Only when I believe my dad corrected me and said, no, that was your mom that bought it for you. You just watched it so much at Papa's house. That's when I started to understand. It wasn't just watching that tape Papa and I did together. We actually would go out and watch trains. We had a secret place at Hawks Nest. We would go out towards Golly Bridge and Smithers on the NS West Virginia Secondary. And one of our favorite spots was on New River down at Thurmond. So when the excursion train comes through, we know when it comes through, and we really want to see it. So where do we go? Thurmond. That's where these pictures are from in October of 2000. What made Thurman really cool in those days is the train used to stop here. Nowadays it just rolls right on through. They would bring out a local band, they would let the passengers get off, and it was just a grand old time. I actually don't remember much about this trip, but I always remember going to seeing the excursion with Papa and watching trains just in general. In fact, I'll never forget one time we were waiting here at Thurman on just an ordinary day, and there was a westbound coal train sitting on the number one track getting ready. I guess they were waiting for eastbound to clear the single track section out of town. I don't remember that. I just remember there was a train sitting there. And the train crew saw that I was just a wee kid and asked me to get in the cab of the locomotive. They said, do you want to see the inside of the cab? And I was convinced they were gonna take off and I was gonna never be seen again. I was convinced, like, I don't want to get up there. I don't want to ride there. I don't want to. And now I wish I did, because I remember that. No reason to think I wouldn't have remembered being inside the cab of a big CSX road locomotive. But it really was just an interesting time with Papa. I miss him dearly. I miss my mom. But those memories and that tape are really what kind of drove me to do this YouTube channel. When Papa died in 2004, I went away from trains for a long time. But I always kept this train at heart, the New River train, because it was always just a part of my life. And so when I started realizing that, hey, this is a part of my life I cannot ignore, and I realized just how much fun I had and how much I enjoyed it, I started embracing being a rail fan. And that really kind of inspired me to get back into model railroading, which is actually where the name of this channel comes from. My model railroad, which is not much to look at, but I've got some equipment, and I've got a little circle, actually an oval, that I run on. I'm trying to get more track, but it's called the White Oak Scenic Railroad. And that is because when I was a little boy, I was a member of the White Oak chapter of the National Railway Historical Society over in Oak Hill, West Virginia. We met at the old Virginian Depot. And I remember, this never actually happened, but I remember a conversation about what it would be like to operate a tourist train from Oak Hill to Thurmond. And I can only assume that would have been called the White Oak Scenic Railroad or something to that effect. And that's how I operate my model, is I operate it as the White Oak Scenic Railroad. So what I would do is, if I bought a new piece of equipment, say I bought a new locomotive, or I bought a new passenger car, or I was just having some fun with, like, oh, we're going to do a Christmas train this year, or we're going to do a Halloween train or something like that, what I would do is I would write a little press release, and I would send it to Sarah. And she would say, you should have somewhere to put these out. These are really good. And I just decided, well, okay, we'll do a blog, and then we'll do a YouTube channel. I just kind of grew from there. But if I hadn't realized that the New River train meant so much to me, and I came back to embracing being a rail fan, I never would have done this, and I never would be where I am today. So it really is crazy how everything came back to that one New River train into memories with my family, particularly my papa, because it really is special. Now let me make this clear. My entire family has been with me when we've gone to explore trains. We've taken time out of family trips to go to railroad museums, and we've gone on several tourist railroads here in West Virginia: Cass, Potomac Eagle, Tigard Flyer, Durban Rocket. We've done all that. So it's not just my papa, it's my entire family as well. But for me, papa is the man who I consider to be like my guiding rail fan, if that makes any sense. So anytime I think about him, I'm probably thinking about the railroad, and I am probably thinking about this particular train in October. I look forward to it every year because it really does mean that much to me. It truly means the world to me to see it operational. In fact, the last time it ran in 2019, we waited several hours for it. It actually had a PTC problem and was several hours late. And the eastbound run, that is, was late. And I started filming, and then I just stopped because I'm like, you know what? I want to enjoy the fact that this train is running. And I didn't even film it. I just stood there and watched. So there you have it. There's my history with the New River train, and why I love it so much and how it made me the rail fan I am today. So I cannot wait to go out there and to film it. It's going to be 4 straight days of rail fan fun. The train hasn't run since 2019. I'm itching to get back out there. I cannot wait to show you. And I'm planning on going all out for it. Different locations, I'm just trying to be able to bring it to you in as many places as I can. So look for that video in the not too distant future. Not going to promise anything in terms of when it'll be out, but shouldn't be that long after the train runs. So look for that. As always, I very much appreciate you watching. I would also appreciate it if you liked this video, if you like it, that is. Leave a comment down below if you are so inclined, and while you're there, go ahead and hit subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that bell to be notified when that New River train video comes out. So until next time, somewhere out there on the railroad, I'm Lucas Berry for White Oak Rail.